With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin. We are honoring our veterans here in the town of Barnstable this week. Of course, Veterans Day is Friday, November 11th. And joining me today, I welcome Director of Veteran Services, Mr. Ed Merrigan. And I have two veterans here. I have Jake O'Rourke, a veteran of the Korean War, and Patrick Kelly, who has returned from Afghanistan. Gentlemen, welcome, and thank you for joining me today. Talk to me a little bit about why you decided to enlist.
I enlisted in the Marine Corps in November 2007 because my family, my father, he was in the Marine Corps, my grandfather was in the Army, my uncle's in the Navy. I have two cousins that were Marines, so the family's always been in the military.
Right. So it was something that you did out of not only pride to your country, but also a family history. It was just what your family does.
Yeah, basically.
So tell me a little bit, when you first heard that you were going to get sent to Afghanistan, was it scary for you?
No, I volunteered to go, so I kind of thought I knew at the time what I was getting into, but not really until I came back. And then after I deployed the first time, we were back in the States for like 4 days, and then they asked for 6 volunteers to go right back. And then when they told me which battalion I'd be attaching to, it was my brother's battalion, 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines. So I immediately, right then and there, I volunteered to go back really soon because you're supposed to have like a year in between your deployments.
Right.
And I had like 4 days notice, and then it was eventually 6 weeks before I returned back to Afghanistan. So.
Now, what made you want to volunteer? What made you want to say, put up your hand? I mean, we've all heard about the combat over there. I have a cousin who was in Iraq, and so what made you want to volunteer?
Well, the first time I went for 7 months. What I did was I was a civil affairs NCO. And what I did was I interacted with the people, and I felt like I was actually making some progress there. And I kind of enjoyed it. It was a really permissive environment the first time. So I kind of didn't have as rough as an experience as most Marines do when they go over there the first time. So I kind of wasn't exposed to the whole full spectrum of the thing. And then when I went back the second time, it was the complete opposite as my first experience. It was a very kinetic area. There was very few people there. There was no schools or anything. It wasn't a really kind of built-up area as the first time. So it kind of gave me a full spectrum of the experience of like what most Marines go through out there, both in a non-kinetic environment and a kinetic environment. And it was kind of great because I got an opportunity to explore how to do my job in both environments and be able to really try to get the most I can do basically to help the Marines that are there. So plus my brother was there. That was my biggest motivator, is to be able to go on the deployment with my youngest brother. So initially I felt like I would be going there to look after him, but after, I come to find out at the end is that he was there really looking after me.
Was that an added stress level for you at all, knowing that your brother was there? I mean, I think that not only are you worried about your fellow Marines, but I think even more so about a family member.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because I would hear, his patrol base would take contact, or they'd take IDF or something like that, and then, I'd always kind of be like, it's my little brother, so I'm, trying to figure out, talk to radio operators, trying to figure out if he'd be all right, if anything happened to him, and then I got the seldom opportunity to see him, once in a while where he was, so I got to, meet up with him and talk to him for a little bit. Actually, I got injured when I was over there. I got shot in the leg. And when I got hurt, they had a ground medevac me to his position, and they actually thought that he was the one that was injured because we were both called Kelly, and we're both corporals. So they were
Kelly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Once they found out that he was okay, they had to tell him that I was the one that was injured. So he had to go over there where I was, and then he was there when they were watching them when they were working on me, and then he actually stayed with me there, and it was kind of really good because he got to see the injury firsthand, and that how severe it was or how it wasn't severe, and he wouldn't hear it through hearsay or secondary information, the
Right.
telephone game kind of thing.
Exactly, and we all know how information can get spread, whether it's not as bad as it actually was or worse than it actually was. So I think comforting for both you and him to be able to have that shared experience.
Exactly. I didn't know I could get a closer bond with my brother, but you go to war with him and you go through something like that, you I have no idea how close you are.
I can only
until that
imagine.
happens.
And I understand you ended up on the same plane coming home together, too, which is rather unusual.
Yeah, I kind of skipped in line and cut in front, to make sure me and my brother got to sit together on the plane home. I actually sat next to him, first class, it's pretty nice. They weren't serving drinks, but you can't have everything you want,
Exactly. So how long have you been back in the States?
I came back October 21st, and I was gone for 6 months. It was for like 14 and a half months the whole time.
Do you notice an adjustment period after you get back from the war? Did you come right back here home to Cape Cod, or did you stop at your base first?
No, they're pretty good about trying to transition you back into like civilian life, or being around like you're outside of the combat zone. They slowly start transitioning you back. They make you go through a lot of classes. They give you a lot of briefs, how to deal with stress, points of contact in order to call and talk to about things. And
so talk to me a little bit about now that you're back. Will you go back to Afghanistan? Are you anticipating, or are you all done?
Well, right now, since I've already done my 4 years and I've re-enlisted, I'm actually going to go to a recruiting station in Lansing, Michigan for 3 years, try to relax a little, take some time off. And it's not really time off, it's more like, it's non-deployable. They're not going to send me back to Afghanistan.
Right. And
I still want to be in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps helped me out with a lot of things. It's changed my life dramatically. So it was the best decision I ever made in my life. The only regret I have is not doing it sooner. I actually try to rebel against my family and go into the world and make my own name, painting houses and stuff. So I reached the extent of what I can learn doing that. So I decided to, take up the calling, I guess,
Sure. So now that you're back, and now that you've gone through two tours in Afghanistan, and of course there are so many veterans as well from other wars, and I saw you and Jake were having a great conversation earlier. How important is it for you to honor not only your fellow Afghanistan and Iraq veterans, but also the veterans of wars that came before?
It's very important. It's important to me and probably all the other guys over there, because I don't want anyone to try and hide it, you know what I mean? Like what's going on, and it's a real honor for me to honor them, and that's more like I'm not doing it for myself or for some political motivation or anything. It's for the guy next to you, or the guy that was next to you the whole time, and then honoring him and keeping his memory alive.
And do you feel a sense of pride in knowing that you have served your country and you will continue to serve your country as a part of the Marine Corps?
I'm extremely proud of my decision to join the Marine Corps and then volunteering to go to Afghanistan. I don't regret it for 1 second, even though everything that happened. I love the Marine Corps, I love my country, and that's why I decided to do it.
Well, Pat, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for joining us today. It's been a real treat to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So, Ed, of course, Veterans Day is coming up on Friday. Tell me a little bit about what the town has planned to honor our veterans.
On Friday, we'll be marshalling near the town hall. Have our parade, which goes on South Street, Old Colony, and then Main Street. It loops into the green again for our observances. The parade steps off at 10 o'clock. And between 10 and roughly 11:15, we'll have our observances here at the green. Included in that will be the Barnstable High School Band with their music. We have Steve O'Brien, Barnstable Patrolman, will sing. Carolyn Caparella, Barnstable High School senior, will sing. We have a speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Barbara Burnett from the U.S. Air Force. So we'll have our dedications, our wreaths, and so forth. And we're Memorial Day. We honor the dead. On Veterans Day, we're really honoring the living, and not only the veterans and active duty military, but also their families and all of their support system. So it's usually well attended. The weather looks like it's going to cooperate, and we're looking forward to it.
Wonderful. And there are so many veterans here on the Cape and Islands. I always enjoy coming to the Veterans Day services because everyone dons their uniforms and really has that sense of pride, no matter if they just came back from war like Patrick or have been out of the service for many years.
Exactly.
Talk to me a little bit. I know we are honoring the memory of fallen Navy SEAL Kevin Houston, of course, a 94 graduate of Barnstable High School who died this year. Tell me a little bit about what is going on in terms of his ceremony.
There is an observance. It will be on Saturday, the 12th, at Barnstable High School. He was a Barnstable High School graduate. Friends of his formed a committee. I had the privilege of working with them. It will be well attended. The governor is coming, the Secretary of Veteran Services, Coleman Nee, Senator Brown, Congressman Keating, the Boston Police Pipe Band, the Patriot Guard, and so forth. So I think it's going to be a very well attended. The public is invited, but I'm not sure what the capacity of the auditorium is going to be. So I think that's a very important observance. and I think it will be well done.
Well, Ed, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you right out here at the Village Green on Friday.
Good. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.